This is Gutzen-Borglum Memorial Highway. Gutzen-Borglum was the guy who began the carving of Mount Rushmore. And we are 8 miles from Mount Rushmore. We're going to stop at a little lake called Horsethief Lake and see if we can get a campsite there on a Sunday night. Please enjoy my stories or whatever else might be on my mind today. The rule for going downhill with a heavy vehicle is that you use the same gear as you took to go up the hill. I had to come up in second gear, so I'm using second gear as a brake on the way down. If I had to go in first gear, I'd probably need first gear for that degree of incline going back down. This is Horsethief Lake. It's just a mile or so from Mount Rushmore, which is right over there on the other side of that hill. And in 1966, I worked at Mount Rushmore. College student, worked there for the summer. I was a fry cook. And we used to walk down here on our time off and fish for trout, hang out down here in the evenings. There's a helicopter coming over the hill. They give helicopter tours. I went on a helicopter tour when I worked there as a kid, and the guy stood it on its nose and went straight down for a ways towards the town of Keystone. Probably the FAA doesn't allow you to do that kind of stuff anymore. They're probably very strict about where they fly and what they do. There's tent sites up there on the hill, and we're in an RV site that's perfect. This is probably where one of those steady cams would come in handy. I don't know how much I'm bouncing as I go around the corners. This looks like chigger grass. I don't get any chiggers. This is a National Forest campground, and the fee is $24 a night. If you have a golden access, which I always call the old guy's card. It's half price, $12 a night, but I'm staying here for free tonight because every 7th night is free and you can accumulate stamps on your ticket. And over the course of the last year and a night this year, I had enough stamps to get a free night tonight. And there's one of those road trucks. These things seem pretty special. Massachusetts. Somebody camping in their moving truck. What a good idea. And here's the old Southwind. Still didn't come up with a name for it. Anybody's got an idea for a name for this old thing? Maybe I ought to call it Grandma. Yeah, see, it's delaminating. Got this big old bulge back here. Bulge was even worse, but I put this strip, this molding strip I put on there. And some places on the inside I put a 2x2 to screw into it, so it just kind of pasted it all back against the wall. Once it delaminates like that, there's no structure inside to hold a screw, and there's no way to re-glue it in there. It's, you know, I've heard lots of theories, but none of them worked for more than a few months. Yesterday I took this molding strip off here, and I put some of that turn-on tape under it, and then the putty that is usually used for that. And there's a seam in the fiberglass. This part of the fiberglass and this part of the fiberglass aren't the same. There's a crack there. And then I put a 1x2 in there, and over here on this end for 8 bolts clear back to here, I put 3-inch screws with big washers and nuts on the other side. And that all seems to have worked very well. Before I did that, it was cracked right in here, and the water just ran down here and into this compartment, which reminds me, I got to take all the stuff out of there and let it dry out. So I guess that'll be my project for right now. So, what'd you buy at the rock shop today, Lynn? Huh?
Rocks.
How many rocks did you buy?
As many as you'd let me.
A bucket full?
Yeah. And then some.
Yeah. Is that like a $10 bucket? And then,
at least.
and then some?
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And don't forget, she threw in that purple light.
yeah, you
for
know.
a buck.
Yeah, right.
That's a real scientific name, purple light.
Purple light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she sounded very scientific.
Yeah.
Evelyn King, that was her name.
Never knew it, didn't care. All I cared about was the rocks.
The rock shop in Prineville.
Pringle.
Oh, Pringle. Prineville's in Oregon.
Yeah.
Pringle. Yeah, Pringle, South Dakota.
Yep.
And she wants to get out of there. She wants to sell the rock shop. She wants to sell all the rocks, all the inventory, and she's got a semi-load of
She should have
stones.
lowered her prices.
$150,000, including the land, which is 5.6 acres.
And you could just
And
knock the house down.
wasn't
Which
even
is just an old trailer to start with.
it's just a double wide, yeah.
That they added on to.
Yeah. Anyway,
What a deal.
what a deal. And then you could go up there and live in the snowbank for
That's
9
right.
months out of the year.
And see, I'd say she probably has 4 neighbors in the town.
Yeah, at
The
least.
town was about 5 houses.
Yeah. And the motorhome, pulling the car. Leaving was interesting. I so wish I'd have taken a video of
Oh, she
it.
was nervous as heck.
So was I.
Don't tell me
I was,
that.
up there,
I
dirt
told
road,
her you
gravel,
don't need to worry about him.
wet, around the
He
back
can
of her
get-
house,
He can get anywhere.
Down-
He can do anything.
down
He
about
does it all.
40 foot of hill, pretty steep, through her backyard, around her basement, which fortunately she told me where it was because it's like a dugout hole in the ground. I could have fallen into it.
Weeds probably are growing out of.
Yes, and then anyway, I made it.
Was there anything you're leaving out?
No, I wish I'd have taken video of it. It would have been an interesting ride. I'm glad you weren't in the motorhome. It was a little steep and rough and
I wasn't about to be in the motorhome for that one.
yeah.
No way.
And I made 2 U-turns today on the highway. That was fun.
I know. I know. And
The guy
the
when I
second one,
when
not looking was even worse than the one I was watching.
I drove in there, parked it, got out. The old guy sitting there in the swing. He looked at me and he said, "Are you a truck driver?" I said, "Not anymore."
I have a license to drive anything in Mexico.
Yeah, that's true. I have a chauffeur's license.